Hello, my name is Hannah Howie, and this is Strictly Professional. Hey! Oh, I do. I have loads of. There's hundreds of us guest entertainers about the shop, and the thing that I love the most is when someone is super present in their performance. Maybe I've seen their show 2 or 3 or 4 times, but actually every single time, it's like rewatching your favorite film. You see something slightly different because they have brought a new song, or they've brought a bit new patter, or they've just responded to the audience slightly differently because every audience is different. You know, I mean, Gareth Oliver is on with us right now, and he did a great show last night, 2 nights ago, can't remember. And I've seen that show loads, but it was just really present. Obviously you have to hit all the marks and, you know, sing the songs and or do the jokes well, and don't steal the jokes. Naughty, naughty, don't steal the jokes, everybody. You're in the sin bin. But honestly, there's a massive list, and I'm not going to go through it. I loved growing up in Edinburgh. Very privileged existence. Need to say that right off the bat. I went to a boarding school in Edinburgh on a scholarship to do music. So I was very supported. I had all the things available to me. I had wee practice rooms. I had teachers who were fantastic. Lots of exposure to chapel choir. We toured Europe, playing in orchestras. Our family went to church growing up, so I was just always surrounded by harmonics. And that's really where everything was sort of like ready to go in terms of music by the time I hit 18. So yeah, I did feel really supported. My parents always let me do what I want because I was the youngest of 4, and I think they just couldn't be bothered putting up with me anymore. So they said, go, do what you want, get out of our hair. But I did try and do something else. I went to a university and I studied something completely different until I realised that I wanted to do music or theatre particularly. I mean, the only thing I guess now is with the internet, with TikTok, with all that sort of stuff, the access points may be slightly different. There's more opportunity in one sense to just make it overnight if you want to. But I went to the Edinburgh Fringe last year I was just watching some stuff, and I saw a TikToker brilliant on the form of TikTok and content creation, but live on stage really struggled. So there's like, yeah, make your name overnight, get your 15 minutes, get all your followers, but it's a very different form of life versus stage performance, live performance, working with an audience. And that's a real muscle that I love and I've worked so hard to build on, and you cannot just get that overnight unless you're a natural, like, you know, Billy Connolly. You know, you really need to work that muscle and get used to it and not take things personally on stage if it doesn't go your way, or work at what you're going to do if X, Y, or Z happens. You can't really do that on TikTok because it's a great form, but it's not the same. So yeah, the access point can maybe be slightly different, but is the training and the thoroughbred nature of it there? I don't know. That's a question I would ask. Hannah Waddingham. Okay, so Hannah Waddingham is really fantastic in multiple forms, right? She's great on the telly. She's great in Ted Lasso. She was hosting Eurovision while speaking French and looking glam. She can sing cross genre. She can sing MT, but she can do opera too, and she could do a bit of jazz, and she can do a bit of this. She's not allowed herself to be put into a particular box. When we are in an industry which thrives on boxing people, whether it be your casting, or you're the girl who does the ships, or you're the guy who sings croonery things, like, we love putting people in boxes. It's easier for our brains, it's more economic, but actually performers are multifaceted people more often than not. You're here, you're doing content creation, but you're also doing the screens for people's shows like me, who contact you and be like, Shane, can I please get a screen? You're also doing your 45 like in 2 nights time, where you're a musician, but you're also a comedian, let's be real, because singers have to be funny, otherwise what do you have? And then you've got so many hats on, and that's just one example of a performer, but you're the ship guy. I don't know, I'm just projecting, but it's just, I think Hannah Waddingham for me says, I can do what I want, and I'm going to do what I want. And she really pushed the boundary for people being seen who are from the West End, from musical world, into telly, which is such a hard thing to cross. Agents are like, no, she's an MT girlie, she's not going to go over. Like, she's a great actor. She can sell a line, be it spoken or sung. Cast her. And she's also super tall. And that's another thing, like, you know, your casting is really specific. No, it's not. Like, there are parts for tall people because they exist in real life. Hannah's just gone in and broken down all the barriers. So I would say her. And also, she's just fabulous. And we have the same name. I want to be you, Hannah. Hannah Waddingham. She is my role model. I love you, Hannah. There are many challenges to traveling around the world for your work, but they're all outside your control mostly. I would offer the big ones that I used to fret about. Am I going to be on time? I can try as much as I can and mitigate for all the variables, but if there's a storm, Mother Nature, if there's a strike, if there's a pandemic, things won't happen, despite what little Hannah wants. So I think the realization that you're not in charge or in control of many things and all you can do is do your best is really helpful and kind of keeps me mentally off the hook. Obviously keep your communication lines open with your agent when you're traveling around the world. Packing's a good one. Just always be slightly under, have the leeway, not 23 kilograms on the dot. I actually packed once recently, it was 22.9, and the woman went to me, well done. I was like, thank you.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm actually, to be honest, now I've said all this, I've spouted all this stuff about I'm not in control of Mother Nature. I'm really worried about not getting in tomorrow in time. So we're going to Ponta Delgada tomorrow, which for those of you in the know, it's in the Azores in the middle of the Atlantic. It's usually a port that you sometimes get into on not 100% hit rate, put it that way. And I've got a flight at 10:45 a.m. and I need to get back because I've got a gig tomorrow. And the prep for that starts at 11 and it's a big charity ball and I'm singing 3 different songs and I put a lot of effort into it. Now if I miss my flight tomorrow, the first thing, which depends on the ship docking on time, there's a snowball effect, right? Yeah. And of course I'll get there in time eventually, but I love to be prepped and ready and have everything set up to go, but sometimes that won't go in my favour and there has to be a point that you realise, okay, I just need to show up and do my best. So yeah, telling yourself that you're not in control. I think, the fact that it's a little bit of an unknown. You get on board, we have no idea when we're on, usually, unless you've done some scouting before to find out. You have no idea who the orchestra are, who's going to be supporting you, what the demographic is. You can get an idea. You can, the longer we do it, the more we can predict. But sometimes you can have an absolute riotous crowd. And you're like, this wasn't on the bingo card for this cruise. And they're absolutely, popping off at, 7:30. Who knew? I love the unexpected nature of it. Within the structure of it being quite predictable, there's things that you just can't mitigate for, and I love that. It keeps it fresh and alive for me. And then also we get a lovely sense of creative control as guest ents. We can choose our set. We can sing what we like. And let's be real, on land, if you're on a big, West End musical, it's a machine. You have to stand on 5. You have to sing that top C. And yes, you can bring your own personality and inflection into it eventually, but we get that off the bat as guest entertainers. We can bring that right from the fore, and that's what I thrive on and love. And I feel like, yeah, let's fly. Let's do what we can do to the best of our abilities and bring our personality to the table at the same time. So yeah, the freedom in that sense is, and the unpredictability. Freedom! I wanted to be Britney Spears, and that will never come true. Coming out of drama school, I guess, that's when I was still relatively green and still a bit of a baby. I wanted to just work all the time. That was always the dream. And my professor, when I left drama school, I asked him for a little piece of advice before going out into the world. And he said to me, don't take your casting too personally, first off. And I was like, is that a personal comment or not? But he, on the back of that, he said, just go where the work is, go where the door opens, and don't be pernickety about it. We can have really specific goals, and some people really buy into that, fair enough. And if it works for them, crack on. And they really do manifest specifics. But for me, and this has come true, is I have literally gone and worked all the time since I left drama school. So are they the most glamorous jobs? Some of them are. Some of them look glamorous, and some of them aren't. But actually, if you strip it all back, it's hard work, it's graft, and it's time away. But I'm happy, and I'm thrilled to have kept going. I'm still here after 11 years doing good work and stuff that I'm proud of and stuff that is relevant and I feel authentic to me. I've never taken a job or done a job that I did not want to do either, and that's, I think, something to be really proud of in this industry, because you can get sucked in and do all sorts, you know. And if I've ever felt like this place is changing, I don't think this is right for me anymore, I will just remove myself, and that's fine. And the other doors always open. They always open. They do. So I guess, yeah, I've been really lucky, and I did have a dream just to keep working. I would love to play Donna, but I have to be a bit older, I think. In Mamma Mia context, I'd love to be a Meryl Streep. What a great gig. It's so fun. Like, it's fluffy, but it's also dark. Like, you know, she's got The Winner Takes It All, which is one of the hardest. It's a huge song. It's hard and it's sad, but it's in Mamma Mia, right? So that's a cool role I'd love to do, but that's down the line. I've always felt like an old woman in a younger person's body. So I'm looking forward to getting older, actually, and seeing what doors. A lot of people say, oh, you'll stop working when you hit your 30s. And nope. You'll stop, you know, in 40s is, you know, you're like, nope. The doors will still open. There are still people on TV, on stage, who are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Long may that continue. So that was a bit of a spraffy answer, but I think I don't have many specifics in my brain, I wouldn't say, regarding dreams. They just don't. I actually talk about this in the show, and I've written a song about that. But one of my nieces was asking me this, like, you know, she kind of asked me for how do I get more confidence, basically, was the question. And I think we all have moments when we're not very confident. But then the thing about children, especially wee Hannah, is like, she was super confident. The world was her oyster. And I think just not losing that. Obviously, it gets a little bit more complicated as you become an adult. Other things come into the fray, but not losing that sense of childlike quality, which is that unsinkable confidence that everything is possible. I genuinely think that, and that what you bring to the world is unique. There's only one of you. So the song is called One of a Kind, and it's about bringing that to stage, but it's also bringing it to your general life. And the authenticity that you bring to any conversation and any interaction is ultimately the thing that stays with people, because people can tell, like horses, they can tell when you're scared. Audiences know when you're bullshitting them, and I think that's really important, to have that truth and just being confident and sitting in that. And that's something I've really liked about going into my 30s. I've sort of come back full circle. In my 20s, I struggled a lot with that, and being something I thought I should be, but now I'm like, eh. So that's what I would remind wee Hannah and any wee person, just to hold on to that, you know, don't lose your sense of self in and amongst it all. Thanks everyone for joining us, and this is Hannah, Howie and Shane, and we are Strictly Professional.